Good morning from gloomy Washington State. My name is Sheena Peril. I am an author from the Pacific Northwest, and I've written 13 books that are mystery slash paranormal, and this series is where I'm working through writing my cozy mystery novel, codenamed Sunflower Hollow. So we are starting volume 2 of this series. Today is Monday. It is the end of June. And it is so gloomy and dark outside. I hate it. I know, I live in Washington. What did I expect? But today we are going to be working on continuing the edits. So I think where I left off, I was at chapter 7, I think. And I'm in the part of the book that requires a whole lot of rewrites and changes. And I am also going through and creating a detailed timeline, making sure that everything makes sense chronologically. I'm also adding some things, expanding. So far, I've probably added about 5,000 words, but it's only showing up as about 3,000 because I also deleted a whole bunch. So I'm going to get started on that. I have taken a couple days off from working on this just because I've been busy. This week was my birthday, so we were doing some stuff, going out and just spending time together. I had a lovely massage on Saturday, got absolutely pummeled, and it felt so good. I know that sounds masochistic. I have a shoulder injury that I had many years ago. It still screws things up. It pulls my back and my neck out of place. It messes with my lower back and my hips. So getting deep tissue massage is one of the things that really, really helps with that. I think that is all I have to update you on to start with. I'm also doing some just like housework and stuff today. I am technically working, but during the summer I have a very short to-do list, and all of the things that I can work on right now, I'm waiting for someone to get back to me on. So I'm going to check my email again here in like an hour, see if anyone has gotten back to me. And in the meantime, I want to start a load of laundry and get started on those edits. So this is Brunhilde, the roll top desk. And I don't think you can really tell how massive she is, but that is a Royal KMM typewriter from the 1940s that I got. I do collect typewriters. And then we've got a little IKEA lamp on top just because this corner is so dark, and I think you can tell how dark it is. And that is with the big light on. And then I've got my sewing machine because I do have a project that I'm working on right now. But let me get a little bit closer and turn on that lamp and give you a very brief tour here. Okay. So these drawers over here are mostly empty just because they're very oddly shaped. These are the drawers that I really don't use at all. And then we have the standard drawers down here that has files in it, that has writing supplies, like general desk stuff, and then that has computer related stuff in it. And then over here we have more sewing stuff, like envelopes and stuff for mailing, spare candles, washi tape. These drawers are also empty. I'm more likely to use these because of the shape, but I still don't use them that often. I do like the pigeonholes. And then down here, this is where our printer and modem live. And then we have the keyboard tray. We have a Puck for scale. Puck is about a 9-pound cat. So that is how much space he takes up. And then this chair right here, it's kind of comfortable, but it is a bit snug for me. And this actually came off of a Washington State ferry, so we call it the ferry chair. The spelling is important on that one. And then up top, this is just some random storage. I've got some magazines that I want to bind together. That is a book nook. That is the cover of Colors in the Dark. Random notebooks. This is all of my spinning stuff, and a book that needs to be reshelved. Okay, so yesterday did not go as planned at all, but I have some good news. I have solved the desk problem. So, for the entire time I have had this desk, I thought that the top half of the desk, like the desktop and the roll top, I thought that was all one piece, which is partially true, but in all the times that we have moved this desk, I did not know that the organizational section came out. It's not attached. Like it fit in there really snugly, so I thought that it always was attached. It looked like it was attached. It is not. It comes out. So we slid that out, and after a lot of organizing and moving stuff around, it now sits on top of the desk. And I've got books and stuff we don't use very much in there. Most of the drawers are still empty because they're kind of inconvenient to get to. Like if you want to get something out of it, you have to take the drawer out and pull it down to look into it. And then it's got like some decorative stuff on it. Puck got up there and he's discovered there's a cat bed up there. So he might start using that now. And then the actual desktop part, I was able to get organized. I've got some like magazines and stuff and my stationery things on the left. I still have room for my sewing stuff on the right, so if I have a work in progress, I don't have to put everything away. And then there is still room for my second monitor. There's still room for my typewriter that I don't get to use enough. And then one of the reasons I love this desk is it has these pull-out trays. I call them cat trays because Hermes loved to lay on those when I was working. And he would just sit beside me while I was writing and get all kinds of love and attention and watch me work. And now I can use them. I can have my work laptop on one of them and my writing laptop on the main desk, or vice versa, depending on which one I'm doing more work on. When I'm typing things, it makes it a lot easier to have what I'm copying. If I'm taking notes, it's a lot more ergonomic. So it's just a much better setup. I can have my long form stuff and my digital stuff in the same place. I didn't change the way the drawers are stored too much. They're pretty much the same. I didn't move anything around. And then I took my desk chair from my bedroom and moved that out there because it's a lot more comfortable. And I want that chair where I'm going to be spending the most time. And then I moved the chair that I did have in the living room into my bedroom because it is smaller, it takes up less space. It is not as comfortable, but it's not bad. So if I'm only using it for like an hour at a time, it's fine. So I was able to get that done. That took a couple of hours, which is like moving and organizing everything yesterday. However, I ended up getting my enrollment taken care of a lot sooner than I expected. So I was able to get into my class sooner than expected, which meant I needed to get to work sooner than expected. So little backstory on this, I am taking classes. I'm also a state employee, which means that I get a tuition waiver. But in order to use it, I can't get into a class until the second week, which means I am a week behind on one of the most labor intensive courses for my program. So I was trying to get caught up on that. I managed to do last week's reading, but I still have like a quiz and a project and this week's reading and 2 more quizzes that I need to do. So I have a lot to catch up on. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to my writing today. But also, I just had a really frustrating morning. So I think I might actually go and sit and write for a little while and try to calm down, do something a little bit creative, and then go back to my classwork stuff and my actual day job work. I haven't really had anything this morning. I had a little bit, which was part of the frustration. But at this point in the year, I'm mostly just monitoring email, and if nobody emails me, then I'm pretty much left to my own devices. So, working on that. I know I won't really get any writing done tomorrow because I have an in-person seminar that I have to attend, and then I have class after that. So, it's going to be a long day. So, I am going to get back to work. I need to get some water. I think I'm going to get myself a chai because I feel like I need it. I thought things were going to be more relaxed this quarter because I would be working from home, and there's just not enough time. There isn't. So I need to sit down and I need to look at my to-do list for today. That is number one. I need to see what my priorities need to be, because writing might get moved to Thursday. And if that happens, Thursday is going to be a relaxed day, no chores, no outside obligations. It'll just be monitoring my work email and maybe spending an hour on class stuff, and that's it. But first, to-do list. Always start with the to-do list. Okay, but y'all can see why I needed a bigger desk, right? Because this is a lot. I know that this is a lot. Hi. I am so tired right now. I basically had a 14-hour school day yesterday. It was insane. My class actually started half an hour earlier than I thought it did. And I'm not insane. That class starts at 9 a.m. fall, winter, and spring quarter, but in summer quarter it starts at 8:30. And at the time that I had looked up the schedule, they had not updated it for summer yet. So I was running around trying to get there half an hour earlier than I had intended. But it was a really good seminar. I learned a lot. I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do as a result of that seminar. So I think I'm going to take this morning and do schoolwork and work. And then I'm going to reevaluate this afternoon to see what I have left to do, because I'm trying to set myself up so that this weekend is a 3-day weekend. It's 4th of July. So I'm trying to set myself up to have a very light schedule over the weekend. I know we're planning on going thrifting. I'm going to try to go to archery. I've been trying to go to archery for the last month and have not been able to. And we've also got a cookout with my in-laws that we're going to. And there just are not enough hours in the day sometimes. And I really want to take some time to relax and catch my breath and do some writing. I've been trying to spin for the last month, and I have not had time to sit down and spin because I need to take my wheel outside because the fiber I'm working on, my wife is allergic to. So I can't spin it in the apartment and not send her into a massive asthma attack. So I'm just trying to figure out what I need to prioritize. So I'm going to look at my to-do list, which is massive, and see what I need to work on today, what can be put off until next week, what I need to focus on, and just get caught up on stuff that I didn't do yesterday, because there was a lot. And that is, even though my class got out an hour early, I had so much I needed to get done because of that class. I was in the class from 8:30 until 2 or 2:30. I think it was 2:30. And then I spent a half hour after talking to the instructor about stuff. And then came home and I had like an hour and a half of burrito time, which is what I call curling up in my blanket and trying to re-regulate my nervous system because the classroom was really loud. And one of the things that overstimulates me the fastest is a lot of noise. So I had my burrito time, and then I immediately started working on homework. And I was working on homework until my second class of the day started, and that class didn't get out until 9 o'clock. And then I had to go back and do a couple more things that I needed to research because they were a little bit more urgent. So I finally forced myself to stop at 10 o'clock, and I was in bed by 10:30, and I was so tired. And then my kitten has not really gotten the hang of sleeping through the night yet, and around 4 to 5 o'clock every morning he gets lonely. And then he starts crying and he wakes everyone up because he wants attention and he wants to play. And then I have trouble getting back to sleep. So I did get back to sleep at some point, but I have to take my mom to work in 5 minutes. And I'm not even dressed yet. I'm still in my pajamas. And I will check in later, and hopefully I will have a better handle on things. Okay, so it is about lunchtime now, and I feel a bit better. I still feel frazzled and a little bit overwhelmed, but I have crossed a lot of things off my to-do list. And now I'm basically just down to my household stuff, my writing, and my spinning. The classwork is going pretty well. I'm supposed to meet with my instructor later today to go over some things. But for right now, I think that I am going to move to the living room. I need to use my personal computer for some stuff. And then probably do a little bit of writing. I don't know if I can focus enough to do any of my rewrites at the moment. I might have to go outside and spin or take a walk first before I'm able to actually sit down and write, but I'm going to try. So, next phase, and I will see you in a little bit. Good morning. It is Thursday. I just got up. I've got chai. Need to wait about an hour before I can take my weird med that I've been struggling to take because it has to be with food. So this morning I have taken mom to work. So that means the rest of the day I don't need to leave the house. And on the docket, I want to spend a good chunk of today on writing. And most of the writing stuff that I film is actually going to go into the writing vlog that I've been trying to film. And if the lighting is kind of weird, it's because there is an incandescent light behind you or next to you, and then my laptop is directly in front of me. So let me get logged in here. So plan for today, I want to go through my day job stuff this morning, which shouldn't take long. Make sure that nothing's on fire, nothing needs my attention. And then I'm going to work up my to-do list for today. I'm going to pull maybe 5 things off of my list that I had for the whole week, put them on the list for today, and then I want the bulk of today to be spent on writing and on spinning. I've been working with some people on Ravelry and LSG, which is one of the groups I'm a part of, and getting some help with my wheel because it's been acting up. It's been really frustrating me ever since I cleaned it and, did all of the maintenance stuff that I'm supposed to do. I did that back in January and it hasn't worked since. So I'm getting some help with that. I've discovered that there was one problem that I had, which was I didn't realize the front bearing had fallen off when I was cleaning it, and I didn't recognize what it was when I found it sitting on the couch, and I saved it out of an abundance of caution, thankfully. So it is back on the wheel now. I oiled everything last night just to kind of freshen it up, make sure everything's moving correctly, and then I'm going to work on testing a couple different settings on it so that I can figure out exactly what's wrong and hopefully fix it. But first, I just need to get my work email up, do that to-do list, and then we're going to get on to writing. So, cheers, and let's get started. We have our to-do list, which today is mostly cat-based. I'm hoping I can edit at least one chapter today, but because of the extent of the rewrites I'm having to do, I probably won't get more than that. Like, I would love to finish editing the book today because I think I've only got 3 or 4 chapters left, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to get started on that, and we will see how far I get with things. We might have a problem. This is why my working document is on a flash drive. Oh, thank goodness, we're here. Okay, it is 11 o'clock. I have just finished rewriting chapter 7. I have deleted a lot. I basically deleted all of chapter 7 as it exists, except for a couple brief conversation bits. And it's now about twice as long as it was, which is good. My next edit, I'm going to go around and change where my chapter breaks are. But I'm not quite there yet. I want to finish this run through. I'm currently on page 136 of 181. So the end keeps getting further away because I keep adding, but that's a good thing. Like I keep saying, I'm an underwriter, so the more that I add in this draft, the better. I am going to stop working on this for right now. I might come back to it a little bit later. I've had to update my timeline a bit, which is good because I'm condensing the timeline just a little bit. And there's a lot happening on each day, but I still feel like it's maybe moving a bit slow because right now it looks like the entire book is going to take 7 days or 8 days to complete the plot.
And usually in things like mystery novels, it's like 3 to 5 days. So I might need to revise that a little bit. But my main character is actually doing a lot and she's meeting a lot of people. And I think this is acceptable for the first book because she's not really in sleuth mode yet. Like she's kind of gathering this information and putting things together in her head, but she's not like, I need to solve this case. She's kind of solving it by accident. So I think that this is acceptable for now, but we'll see in my next read through how it feels, if it feels like it's taking too long. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I still need to do, I think I've got chapter 8. Okay, yeah, I have a total of 12 chapters in this draft. So I've got a little ways to go. And I think once I get past chapter 8 or maybe chapter 9, I can start reusing more of what I have written already. And it'll just be more straight up edits and less rewrites. But for now, like I said, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to move on to something else and we'll come back to this later.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Sunflower Diaries. I do still have more in store. We've got at least 2 more episodes left before this book goes into the cooler for a little while, and I have more writing vlogs planned in the interim. So if you enjoy what I do, please like, subscribe, interact with this video in some way because it tells the algorithm that people actually like what I do. Also, if you wouldn't mind checking out my Ko-Fi, I have a ton of stuff over there. You can find the link down below. You will find signed hard copies of my books, DRM-free ebooks of every single book in my backlist. There's 13 altogether. That's not 13, that's 3. You know what I mean. I'm holding a cat. I only have one hand available. DRM-free versions of all 13 of my books, as well as knitting and crochet patterns, printable downloads for your planner, and a whole lot more. So please go check it out, and don't forget to leave some kind of comment down below. Drop me a sunflower emoji, and I will see you in the next episode.